So I'm painting cabinet doors and drawer faces. I am using this Bayer right here. Cabinet door trim enamel. Using satin. I put 2 coats on these doors last night. And what I've been having troubles with this paint is cracking in the corners. And it did the same thing in the kitchen where I sprayed it. I didn't spray these. I rolled them and I brushed the corners. So I didn't put it on too thick, but maybe I did. But I had the same issue upstairs in the kitchen where it cracked in corners. So right now, I'm going through with caulk, filling the cracks again, and I'm gonna go back and do a light coat of paint, and hopefully that will stop the cracking. But we'll see, because I mean, this paint is pretty expensive. I think it's like $50 a gallon. But if it keeps cracking like this, I think I'm gonna try a new brand. Because this was a lot of work to paint these. And now I have to go back through and do all the corners again and probably have to roll them again, just so you don't see brush marks. It's almost not worth $50 a gallon. I know the next stage up is like $80 a gallon, but that might be worth it. So we'll see. Like I said, there's 2 coats on these doors, and that's pretty much all you need is 2 coats, as long as it's good coverage, especially after you prime it. But after I get these cracks taken care of, I'm going to start installing them. These were a pain to install. I've never installed those before, so I played around with it. As you can see, I installed them all different ways before I figured out how they worked. And of course, this is one of the door frames I didn't screw together. And these hinges put pressure and pull it down. And I have 2 gaps. So I'm gonna have to caulk those and figure out how I'm gonna reinforce them, because these hinges or springs, gas springs, are putting a lot of pressure on this. And it takes a lot of pressure even to push it down. But it holds it. And here's my other door. Again, this cabinet, I did a little bit smaller door here to match this door, and both of them open out to give a better aesthetic. I did a couple mess ups. One thing, this door, I had the parts, but I never put them together and built it, so that one's down there now getting primed. All my drawers I built too long. And that was a big pain in the butt. I built them too long by 2 inches, I believe. It's because I built the drawers a little bit different from how I build the doors, and I didn't account for some math. So all those I had to rebuild. Fortunately, I built them too long, so all I did was cut them down and slide a new style on. So I'm having to repaint all those, because those were all painted and ready to go. So that was definitely hurt a little bit. All that's done. The 2 doors I built here were also the wrong size, and the 2 doors I built right here were the wrong size. So that's why you have to measure twice, cut once, and check your measurements over and over, because this is delaying the progress quite a bit. I've started doing some drywall repairs. As I said before, I hate knockdown, but I don't want to skim coat this entire house because everything in here is knocked down. So this is the first time I ever tried to repair knockdown, and it actually doesn't look bad. This is still drying, so once it dries, I'm going to see how it's looking. I'll show you. I'll tape me using it, but all you do is use the sponge, hit the drywall, and then come back with your knife and give it a knockdown. I also installed 3 lights. They're super bright. I haven't been showing any electrical work I've done. Maybe in some of my next videos, when I start doing more projects, I'll start showing electrical and plumbing. For electrical, I love using these. These are so much better than wire nuts. But you can see how I had to do a little excavation into the ceiling to run that line. And there was a light here, so I took the light off and I stringed it to these 3. This light fixture was for the island, or actually the peninsula that used to be here. I'm going to run 2 lights for the island off of that one. Still have some drywall work to do. I'm letting all this dry. This wall is going to be a feature wall. Put wainscoting on it and wallpaper, so I won't be texturing this wall. But everything is coming together. Should not be too much longer. We're still trying to figure out the flooring. My plan is to put all the flooring in through the kitchen, living room, and hallway. And then I'm going to build the island over the flooring. That way it just sits right on top. And if you can see, I do have 2 lines run up. One is for the 110 outlet, and the other one, this one is a dedicated microwave. But again, everything is coming together. Should not be too much longer. I am beginning to prep for the flooring install, and if you were wondering why I am painting the subfloor, it is because there's a bad dip in that area, and I'm going to be using self-leveling concrete to fill it. I also mixed some self-leveling concrete and let it sit in a bucket for an extra 5 minutes after mixing. If you didn't know, this causes it to heat up and cure very quickly. I'll put the video on regular speed so you can see my reaction when I figure out I have a 5-gallon bucket of cured concrete. our door handles in. We got 7-inch. I think these are golden champagne. So these are the 7-inch or 178 millimeter. And for the smaller doors, we got 5-inch or 128 millimeter. I made a jig just out of a piece of scrap style I had left over. The thickness again of these is 2 1/8. So I measured 2 1/8 to the center of the hole. Made it flush with the bottom of the door, and I centered it as well, so it was 1 1/16 inches from the side. And it's a cheap way to make a jig. Just use a scrap piece of wood. Again, I put both of these on the same side just so it matches both sides. They're all soft close. I'm not gonna put a door handle up here. And grab one of these. I'm putting the big 7-inch here, but the screws I have, or bolts, aren't long enough. So I gotta get another, at least another 1/2 inch on the end of that to fit. So that's gonna have to hold up. So now we are gonna work on putting the drawers in. So I'll sit you over here. We'll start with the pantry drawers. I have these jigs, Power Tech. Makes it easier to put the drawer fronts on. This is the first time using these. Oh, the refrigerator is gonna mess that side up.